So in this segment, we're going to be talking about food being thrown away because of a labour shortage caused by Brexit, of course. If we look at this kind of thing, farmers are struggling to pick the fruit, and now they're struggling to process it. This is comical at this point. Like, it's that bad, and they're also struggling to get it to shops anyway. So you're talking massive problems across the supply chain. And it's just madness what's going on here. One of the country's biggest vegetable producers says it is losing thousands of pounds a week and having to throw away food due to a labour shortage. And we're a country that has a lot of food poverty as is, and now we're throwing away even more food than we normally do. It's madness. The workforce at Alfred G. Pierce, based near Kings Lynn, Norfolk, is 20% to 30% down on previous years. So that's a massive staff shortage. You're talking about a fifth of the staff they've lost, and because of that, they're having to throw away food, which is crazy. Business Development Manager Jack Pierce said COVID-19 pandemic and Brexit were to blame. The Home Office said employers should invest in the domestic workforce rather than labour from abroad, which we know there are massive problems with. The British government put out a massive kind of press campaign to get British people into the fields, and when that didn't work, we flew in people from Romania, especially to come here to pick fruit and vegetables within the fields, because British people just do not want to do these jobs. Like, I don't know what to tell you, Chief. Like, you could increase the wages, it's just not happening. A second company, Freshland Farm, I think they sell a lot to Tesco's, based in Ramsey, Cambridgeshire, said it had lost tens of thousands of pumpkins as it had not been able to hire any workers to clear the weeds from the fields. Pumpkins, I don't think is massively consumed in this country compared to other things, but it's quite healthy. Mr. Pierce, who is the third generation of his family to work at Alfred G. Pierce, said labour shortages were impacting the company's ability to produce goods and of hauliers to transport them. I mean, these are mainly Brexit issues, let's not get it twisted. The company, which is based across 3 sites and grows 60,000 tonnes of carrots, parsnips, sweet potatoes, onions and butternut squash, I think these are more typically winter vegetables, which I'm not the biggest fan of anyways, works with major food distributors and supermarkets across the country. So you've got a big farm that works, that sells kind of fruit and vegetables throughout the country, and they're struggling because of the labour shortage. They're struggling because of the heavy goods vehicle shortage and the lack of staff to come in to do these jobs, which British people, again, do not want to do. Mr. Pierce said the labour-intensive nature of the industry meant the shortage of workers was partly down to the pandemic, but also structural problems due to Brexit. And I mean, it's not really down to the pandemic, though, is it? I don't see how that's a factor in this one. You're failing to get the staff in, seasonal workers who would come to the UK. The UK might be on the red list for certain places, but if you're doing seasonal work, you're going to be here for at least a couple months. So by that time, things could easily change. Countries are always moving in and out of the green, amber, and red list. So this kind of thing here, it's not going to last that long in terms of, like, you can't keep using the pandemic as an excuse forever. He said the company was having to restrict working days and turn down business as a result, while haulage companies have lorries sitting ready to go but physically haven't got the people to drive them. So they're struggling because they can't work on certain days because they don't have the staff. And lorries aren't coming in on certain days because hauliers don't have the staff. Like, This industry is going to suffer big time, and I know what people are going to say. The farmers voted en masse for Brexit and blah blah blah. They kind of deserve it, which to an extent they do. But the impacts of this are huge. With a chilled product like ours, we rely on just on time deliveries, which that's gone out the window. In some cases, unfortunately, products are being rejected as they're delivered too late. Unfortunately, we are bringing it back and dumping it. I mean, you could easily put that back into the soil, I guess, and that's going to kind of help the land out, but in terms of making money, this doesn't help. It's happening on a weekly basis now. We are talking about thousands of pounds each week, and these are massive losses for these farms, which they don't make a ton of profit as is. So some of these farms may go under because of Brexit. It's sad times. Farm manager at Freshfields Farm, John Ablett, said in just one field the company had lost half of its 90,000 pumpkins it produces due to weeds. He said this had been replicated in many of their other fields, as well as the usual Eastern European labour force which used to pick the weeds had not been available since Brexit. And that's the point. We flew people in last year So we know the pandemic wasn't the main issue. What was the main issue? What is the main issue? It's Brexit. People can't come here because of the way the T5 visas are set up and the fact they have to pay the NHS surcharge. They can't work on multiple farms. They can only work on one, which is ludicrous. Like, the entire thing's a mess, and the British government don't know how to deal with it. They could easily spin this as, we're going to put these people on, the specialist visa list because we need them, and it's another win for the Aussie-based point system. But you're not going to do that because they're stupid. Once again, they're so dumb. And these seasonal workers will go to, farms in other countries which may pay less, but at least they can work on multiple farms and not have to pay a healthcare surcharge. Like, this is madness right now. A government spokesperson said it recognised the sector had often relied on migrant workers and it increased the amount of temporary visas, but these people aren't coming in the numbers we need them to. The government encourages all employers to invest in the domestic workforce. Oh, it's just that standard press statement. They're trying, man, but it's not happening. So what are they supposed to do in this situation? They can't get foreign staff in to do the jobs like they normally would. The domestic people won't do it, so vegetables don't get picked. That's what's going to cause prices to go up potentially, because there will be an artificial shortage. Why? Because the farms can't pick the fruit and vegetables they need, and the lorries oftentimes can't deliver them. That's going to cause prices to go up as there's a scarcity. I don't care about winter fruits that much, but there are people who do, especially the ones who like, bland soups. So they're going to be miserable by this. But yeah, this is Guy's a third generation farmer essentially within, the family business, and I do feel for them. Regardless of how they voted, remain or leave, I do feel for them. And the simple fact is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to speak to your local MP? Are you going to try and get things done? Or are you just going to kind of complain on occasion to the BBC and do nothing more? Because if that's what you're going to do, you're going to get nowhere. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.